Hello everyone. In this video, I would cover the current affairs from 25th of July to 31st of July. India's Indermeet Gill has been named as World Bank's chief economist. Students, the International Financial Institution World Bank has appointed Indermeet Gill as its chief economist and senior vice president for development economics at the Multilateral Development Bank. And his appointment will be effective from September 1, 2022. Students, Gill will be only the second Indian to serve as the chief economist at the World Bank. Kaushik Basu, please keep the name in mind, was the first to have served this position from 2012 to 2016. And, Gill has, he's currently the vice president for Equitable Growth Finance Institution at the bank. And prior to that, he was a professor of public policy at Duke University, and he was also been a non-resident senior fellow in the global economy at the Brookings Institution. Next, students, Nakul Jain joins as CEO of Paytm Payment Services. So Paytm's parent company, 197 Communication, I want all of you to keep the name in mind. Paytm's parent company is 197 Communication. So it has appointed Nakul Jain as the CEO of Paytm Payment Services. Now, students, please understand that the CEO of Paytm Payment Services is Nakul Jain. However, the MD and CEO of Paytm is Vijay Shekhar Sharma. Please don't get confused between the two. And Paytm was founded in 2010 and it is headquartered in Noida. Next, students, India will host ICC Women's ODI World Cup 2025. So International Cricket Council has confirmed that India will host the ICC Women's ODI World Cup, which is One Day International Cricket 2025. And this was selected via a competitive bidding, students. Now, India, Bangladesh, England, and Sri Lanka were named as the 4 hosts for ICC Women's White Ball events from 2024-27. Next, students, US wins the most number of gold medals, and India placed 33rd at the 2022 World Athletic Championships. So students, the World Athletics Championship were held in America for the first time. I told you this in the last video. In terms of medals, Team USA made the most of their time. They won the maximum number of medals, and which is a total of 33 medals. And it also includes, 13 gold, students. And India came up at number 33 overall and 4th in Asia, just behind China, Japan, and Kazakhstan, which means India's overall rank is 33rd. However, it is 4th in Asia, just behind China and Japan, Kazakhstan. This is the overall medal tally, students. US, if you see, ranked number 1 with a total of 33 medals. And India ranked 33rd with just 1 medal. Moving on, students, HDFC Bank to be among global top 10 banks after the merger. So according to the Times of India report, HDFC Bank will be among the world's top 10 most valuable banks after its merger with the parent company HDFC, students. So HDFC Bank and HDFC are two different entities. HDFC is the parent company, and now HDFC Bank will be merging with HDFC, students. And after the merger, it's going to be valued as among the top 10 most valuable banks. Now, students, HDFC Bank is a systemically important bank in India. Now, what does that mean? Systemically important banks means that this bank is too big to fail. That means it cannot be allowed to fail at any cost, because any failure of such a bank can trigger a financial crisis across the country and beyond. So HDFC, students, along with SBI and ICICI Bank, are the 3 systemically important banks in India. Please keep this fact in mind. And RBI has already approved the proposed merger between HDFC Bank and HDFC. Some important facts about HDFC, students. HDFC Bank Limited MD and CEO Shashidhar Jagdishan. Very important. Who is the MD and CEO of HDFC? Shashidhar Jagdishan. Keep the name in mind. Established in 1994, headquartered in Maharashtra, Mumbai. And tagline is "We understand your world." Next, students, Union Cabinet adopts a $1.6 billion BSNL revitalization plan. I also did an editorial analysis video on this. So Shri Ashnavi Vaishnav, who is Union Minister for Railways, Communication, Electronics and IT, he said that Union Cabinet has approved a rupees 1.64 lakh crore. Please keep the value, the figure in mind, rupees 1.64 lakh crore or $1.6 billion package, revitalization package for BSNL Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited students, which is a government-run telecom operator. So this revitalization plan is the second package of the plan that was announced by the government in 2019. And the report said that the package, the bailout package or the revitalization package that was announced in 2019 has contributed to stabilizing BSNL's financial situation. So the revenue that was declining has stabilized at rupees 19,000 crore, and that's why the government has decided to release the second installment of the announced package. Now, the proposed package includes three component students. Number one, better services. That means they're going to upgrade the services, the quality of services, de-stress the balance sheet, clean the balance sheet, and also expand the optical fiber network development. So if you see here, the cabinet has accepted a proposal to convert rupees 33,000 crore in statutory dues. So that means that BSNL is reeling under some dues, which would be now converted into equity as a part of de-stressing effort of the balance sheet. And there's a plan to combine BSNL and BBNL, Bharat Broadband Network Limited. So there could be a question that which two companies or entities are being merged as part of this plan. So it is BSNL and BBNL students. And through this merger, the BSNL's, the optical fiber network would also be expanded, students. Next, students, Roshni Nadar retained as India's richest women for second year in a row. So HCL Technologies chairperson Roshni Nadar Malhotra, she has retained her position as the richest woman in India for the second year in a row. And this is according to the report released by Kotak Private Banking Hurun, leading wealthy women's list. And the total net worth of Roshni Nadar stood at rupees 84,330 crores. She's followed by Nykaa's owner Faguni Nair and Kiran Mazumdar Shaw of Bicon students. Faguni Nair, please keep the name in mind, is the world's 10th richest self-made woman. Now, students, if you look at the list, so the list of top 10 richest women in India, Roshni Nadar at number 1, followed by Faguni Nair, Kiran Mazumdar. So students also please note the companies that they head. Roshni Nadar heads HCL, Faguni Nair Nykaa, and Kiran Mazumdar Biocon. Some other important names and companies are also mentioned here, students. Next, students, one of India's largest financial deals, Axis Bank Citi merger, gets approved by Competition Commission of India, CCI. So very important, students. The acquisition of Citibank and Citicorp Finance Limited's consumer banking operations by Axis Bank has been approved, students. So Axis Bank is acquiring Citibank and Citicorp Finance consumer banking operation. And the acquisition has been disclosed by the firms. And according to CCI, the transaction entails the going concern slump sale of Citibank and Citicorp's consumer banking operations. So please keep this in mind that it's only the consumer banking operations, not the entire company, but only the consumer banking operations that is being acquired by Axis. Now, students, like it's written here, the deal entails the sale of Citibank India's consumer banking operations, including credit card, retail banking, wealth management, and consumer lending businesses. Very quickly about Axis Bank. So Axis is a publicly listed private sector bank that offers treasury services, commercial and wholesale banking services, retail banking services, and those to individuals, SMEs, corporations, and agricultural industry students. It opened in 1994 in Ahmedabad by Manmohan Singh, who was then India's finance minister. And UTI Bank and Global Trust Bank agreed to join in 2001. But because of RBI postponed clearance, the merger never happened, students. Next, students, India received highest annual FDI inflows of USD 84.8 billion in the financial year 21-22. So FDI, what is FDI? Foreign direct investment, which is an investment made by a company or an individual in one country into business interests located in another country, right? So it is the fixed investment which is made by a company or an individual into another country. And it is a very important driver of economic growth. And that's the reason why, the governments around the world try to attract as much FDI as they can. And it is also a source of foreign exchange, students. So in the year 21-22, India has received the highest annual foreign direct investment inflows of almost $85 billion. And India is rapidly emerging as a preferred country for FDI in the manufacturing sector, students. So very, very important. We all know that India doesn't have a very well-developed manufacturing sector. And it has been this government, the president government's priority area, focus area to give boost to the manufacturing sector. Generally, countries like China, Vietnam, and some of the other South Asian countries, Southeast Asian countries have been in the recent past the preferred destination for manufacturing industry students. But now India is taking lead here and is rapidly emerging as a preferred country for FDI, particularly in the manufacturing sector, which is a very welcome news, students. We have a very well-developed and a very well-performing service sector, but when it comes to manufacturing sector, we sort of pale in comparison. So this is a very positive news. As per UNCTAD World Investment Report, in its analysis of the global trends in FDI inflows, India has moved to 7th rank among the top 20 host economies for 2021. And even in this hard time, this is a good signal that economy is doing very well and resilient from the global disturbances, students. So even, in the backdrop of the pandemic and the slowing world trade, and then of course the whole Russia-Ukraine crisis, it is a very positive news that India is doing well in terms of FDI. So highest FDI contributors country-wise, students, Singapore, maximum number of or the maximum amount of FDI comes from Singapore, followed by USA, Mauritius, Netherlands, and Switzerland. If you look at the top 5 sectors receiving the highest FDI equity inflow, students, so the highest FDI has come to the computer, software, and hardware sector, followed by services sector, finance, banking, insurance, and then the automobile sector, trading and construction, and infrastructure, students. Next, students, ISRO generated $279 million in foreign currency through satellite launches. So Dr. Jitendra Singh, he's India's Minister for State for Science and Technology, he brought to the notice of the Parliament that ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, has brought in $279 million in foreign currency, and that is no mean figure, students. Antariksh, that's the commercial arm of ISRO. that has made this money by launching 345 foreign satellites from 34 different nation students. So basically, Antriksh has earned this. This is the revenue that the Antriksh has earned, which is the commercial arm of ISRO, by launching 345 foreign satellites from 34 different nations. And 56 million of these gains were paid out in dollars and other in euros. So students, this is again a very positive development and a very welcome news that uh, a country like India has been doing so well in the space arena, students. Till few years back, India was not an advanced nation when it came to the space sector, but Antriksh, the commercial arm of ISRO, it has been doing very well in the recent past, and uh, it has been able to launch the satellites of other countries in a cost-effective manner. Because the countries, the other countries, they also have this technology of launching the satellites. However, they prefer coming to India for this because India is able to launch the satellites at very less cost as compared to other countries. The first nation to use ISRO services to launch satellites, Germany and South Korea. And after 2015, 83% of international launches took place. And US spacecraft accounts for 66% of ISRO's international launches. And the PSLV, students, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle of ISRO, was used to launch each of these spacecraft. So you should also keep this in mind that India launches this through PSLV, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. So which launch vehicle is used, students? PSLV, not GSLV, PSLV, right? And since 1975, the Indian government has launched 342 foreign spacecraft in addition to 129 domestic ones, which illustrates the success of ISRO's commercial satellite program. Next, student, World Airport Traffic Dataset 2021, New Delhi among the top 20 busiest airport. So according to the Airport Council International, ACI World has released the annual World Airport Traffic Dataset to reveal the global air traffic ranking of the top 20 aviation industries for 2021. And according to this, Indira Gandhi International IGI Airport in New Delhi has been ranked among the top 20 as the 13th busiest airport. And the ranking provides a view of air transport demand across the world's airport in three areas in terms of passengers, air cargo, and aircraft movement, students. So basically, it reflects the air transport demand, students, and IGI is among the top 20. So that's all for this video, students. I will see you next week with another video on current affairs. Thank you so much.